Floss Tube, it's Kerry and Stitches. It's Friday the 22nd of January, and I keep thinking October. I hope you're all well and are having a really good week. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome back. If you are a returning viewer, it's a lovely day here in Worcestershire. The sun is shining, there's a blue sky. It makes you feel better, So today's video, I am going to go through a few stitchy things that I really like and that just help my stitching just be that little bit better. Well, I don't know if my stitching's better, but they make my life easier a little bit and more fun maybe. So I've got a list of a dozen or so things here, and we'll go through and to have a chat about some of my favourite things. There will be links to a couple of things below, but a lot of things I've picked up locally or bought several years ago, been gifted and that kind of thing, so it's not always easy to be able to say where I got these things from, but if I know, I'll say, and I will pop some links down below. If there's a specific brand, I will try and put that down there as well, even if I don't know the supplier. So, right, so let's kick it off with one of my favourite ways of storing floss is on these thread rings. I love these. Diana It Is Kismet first showed these many, well, I've been watching Floss Tube 3 years, so you know, but they're just fantastic. They're the twisted wire ones. They're sometimes put with luggage tags and things like that, or key rings. I'll put an Amazon link down below, but obviously it's a UK one, but I'm sure you can find them from that. I love these. I think they're really worth the investment. So, what do I do with my threads when I store them? Well, except for this project. I store them in these pencil cases. These I pick up from a local discount store called Home Bargains. Amazon do sell them, so I bought some A5 ones on Amazon. This is an A4 size one. I've got black, blue, red, and yellow ones, and purple, I think. So I just think they're a really cheap way of storing projects. I know a lot of people like the vinyl ones. These do have tiny holes in, so they're not great for holding needles, but I just think they're really useful. They hold cross stitch magazines and a full-size chart, so I love these. These are really good. So there's that, and they're very inexpensive. I think I pay about 89p for one, which is great. So my whip's generally split between half of the. I think I've got 10 of these and about 10 other, you know, nice handmade project bags, but they're all good in an inexpensive way. That's why I didn't bring all my handmade ones, because I love my handmade ones. They are absolutely amazing. Can't always, and certainly a couple of years ago could not afford to be spending a lot of money on handmade ones. I've been very lucky. I've been gifted several and I've had them for Christmas presents, so I think I've only ever had to buy, sorry, some dust in my housing. I only ever had to buy 2 or 3. I've only ever chosen to buy 2 or 3 myself. So anywho, right, what do I use to stitch with? My favourite needles are John James Tapestry needles. There we go, see if it's not going to reflect. Don't know if that's even focusing because I haven't got my glasses on. So I use size 26s generally. I do have some 28s for like my 40 count projects, but generally size 26 needles suit me. I buy them in bulk direct from John James because they are really good value. I paid £2.75 for 25 needles, and I know retail for a packet of 6 you can often pay it to £2.50, so these are really good value to buy direct, and I tend to buy about 50 at a time. And they do all of their needles, every single one, you know, right through to mattress needles and things like that. So really highly recommend ordering direct from them. Service is really quick, and certainly for me in the UK, they are in the same county as me. So, but I love. I'm a huge fan. So I've seen a few people complaining about them lately, but I've never. Yeah, I've had the odd needle that's bent. No, I've had one needle that's bent, and you know sometimes the eye goes. But the needles, they're tiny bits of metal. I'm not a fan of DMC needles, but I know people have had no problems with them. So I've had a couple of terrible batches. I store them all in this little needle case that I was gifted. So I have my, so I know that I have my size 26s, some sharps. I think they're milliner's needles for back stitch. I've got a couple of beading needles there. I'm guessing that's a couple of size 24s, and a couple of other random needles. Right. And while we're talking about threads as well, actually, I'm a cardboard bobbin girl. I love all my DMCs on cardboard bobbins. Right. So, I've got my needle, I've got my floss in my project bag. I'm ready to go. So, needle needs to be on a needle minder. This is actually my absolute favourite needle minder. It's one I made myself, and it's just a tiny sunflower button that I cut the shank off. And I love it because I haven't got any needles out. But the reason I love this, let's pick a 24 because it's slightly bigger, is that needle rests really nicely in the grooves. So it's just a fab little sunflower needle minder. That's why I like this one. So, and it's tiny, and which is a great thing for me because of stitching in hand. I don't want heavy light needle minders, so I tend to like lightweight plastic button type things rather than heavier ones. Although I have some beautiful big needle minders, the enamel ones, and I've got a terracotta one and some agate pieces and things like that. They're a bit heavy, so I do like lightweight needle minders. But I also always keep a needle minder on my clipboard, and it's usually this one. And actually this was a freebie from when I ordered some needle minders, which is funny that the one I use the most happens to be the one I didn't order. But I like it because it's just nice and big and flat, so, and holds several needles. Because I do have a habit of when I stitch, especially with something like this Prairie School that's only got 5 colours, I'll just I'll thread up the different colours and chuck them on there. So clipboard, I always use this. It's just a really basic cheap clipboard. It was 2 or 3 quid from Amazon. I had it for Christmas one year because I put it on my Christmas list. I keep all of my working copies on here. There we go. Yeah, so there's about 25 working copies on here. Usually just, if it's a multiple page chart, usually just 1 page. There are a couple of exceptions on here. And you'll tend to find all my working copies, because I'm doing the challenge groups. I mark all my challenges up, they've all got little calculations at the bottom and stitch counts. And I've counted stitches way before I started challenge groups, or I would mark sections of the chart off to stitch and things. So I love a working copy, and it's very rare that I don't make a working copy. Like my little Lizzie Kate Flippets, I don't make working copies because they're small and there's like 6 colours and they're easy enough to follow. I tend to stick a post-it note in those to make my notes on. So what do I use? Some propelling pencils. I love these, but I've got refills for them. I love these. These were a couple of my favourite ones. I'm a sucker for stationery, full stop. So they twist up with an eraser, which is great, and they're refillable. These are by Milan, and I buy them from Paperchase. So, and yeah, I just love these. These are great. I also have a different Milan one, type one as well, which is another equally as good one. Where am I? Let's look at them on my list. So, when I've made all those calculations for Daily 30, so writing out all my challenges, I love Daily 30 as a challenge group. It's a nice, easy challenge group. If you might be, I might get myself into trouble for this, if you're interested possibly in joining up, send me a message, and we may have openings soon. I'm not saying we have openings now, but we may have openings soon. So let me know if you are interested. It's a challenge group, so you know, it's not just one of these I'll just join and sit on the sidelines. It used to be, but more we're encouraging people to participate in our stuff. We're a very small group and we keep it that way deliberately. So, but I've made some really good friends through there. So I love Daily 30, and we have challenges and we have fun, and it's lovely. I mean, I say I've got 3 of my big challenges going through Daily 30. Anywho, so each week when my new challenges come out, I like to write them on a post-it note. This is just a very small sample of the 9 gajillion post-it notes I have in various books and forms and things like that. These, at the moment, I'm trying to colour code my weeks are helping. I like lined ones as well. Lined ones are fun. Somebody who I can have neat handwriting. I tend to scrawl a lot though and make very quick notes, and lined does help me a little bit. So when I've written all my Daily 30 challenges out, so it might be stitched with some red floss, and I have stitched on something with a ship, and stitch on a project with a tree, and stitch on a project you can tie to a wedding. These are just things that have come up fairly recently. I put them all in my Stitchy planner, and that's my general kind of go-to monthly page. And I've got a little calendar, that's a new edition. Bit of washi tape, that's a new edition too. Stitch count thing, I stuck that in recently. So there's all my post-it notes with the weekly challenges. So that's my plan for this weekend. I've got monthly challenges there, and the 2 weeks and the week that we're currently on there. So new ones will come out today. Can't wait, excited. And yeah. And eventually, when all these come off and January's over, I shall put my finishes there. So I'm really enjoying planning again. And I've got, as you saw my flip through, so I've got some of my stitch counts in for Zombie Run now. And I don't know if I had this when I did my last thing, my progress tracker. That's now coloured in with pretty washi tapes because stationery. I deliberately left the second page in case I want to start another one, and some start and finish things. So starts and some finishes for January. And I've also got these start anniversaries on this, yeah. So just straightforward starts and finishes on there, and also start anniversaries of, I think the chart's going to last over a year, and I went back and checked all my dates for last year. We now have floss tube plans as well. Yeah, so I'm really enjoying planning, and it may have caused me to go out and buy lots of stickers from Fly Squirrel, and lots of washi tape. That's my glue stick there. Those don't fit. It's a shame they don't fit on here. But yeah, washi tapes and stuff. One of my favourite Fly Squirrel is having a sale this weekend. That's not good news for me. And I use fine liner pens, and I've got some more on order which will fill this pencil roll, which my mum bought me for Christmas. And at the time I thought, I don't need that, and then I went, I need more pens. Yes, crazy person that I am. So I've stitched, I've made notes. I need to cut that thread off the back now. And what am I going to use? My favourite scissors. These are Prim curved blade scissors, and they are not cheap, but these are my absolute favourite scissors. My first scissor fob I made as well. But these are so sharp, they are so precise, and they are just fantastic. And my mum bought me those as a gift. You can get them, you can pick them up at a lot of quilting shops and things like that, and probably needlecraft shops too, but I don't know. But we got I don't have a needlecraft shop locally, I'm not in the town, so they came from a quilting shop here. And I also have a bigger pair which I use for cutting my fabric, again, which are Prim scissors and super sharp, and I love them, and nobody touches the purple scissors. Right, if I use my tape measure all the time to check my measurements. Got to maybe buy this one before Christmas, it's probably. So I do use the tape measure all the time. I find that super helpful. Right, so I've snipped those threads. Where are they going to go? They're going to go in my alt jar. This is my little alt jar that sits on my by my It's got a little thread in it. I cleaned it out this morning so I could dust it because it was a bit dusty. Hubby bought me this for a few Christmases ago and we picked it up at a garden centre, I think it was. Fingers crossed though, there's not aughts in there because of this thing. Yeah, I will use a seam ripper if I'm taking out lots of stitches. That's just a really basic cheap one. I do fancy trying one of those ones with the rubber tip and stuff on the end as well at some point. Okay, so beading. Love to throw some beads on. And I can't find my packet of beading needles to tell you what beading needles I use, but to be honest I tend to save the ones that come in Mill Hill kits. I made myself my own sort of tacky bob with a mini disc case and one of these, well, I cut up one of these silicone mats that I bought from a local bargain shop, and it's like 70p or something. It's really cheap. And they work really well. That's not even stuck in, it's siliconed itself in. I believe they're washable. I've not tried it yet. It does need it. Right, that's a job for today. I'm going to try and wash the bead mat, and if not I can just replace it because I bought 3 or 4 of these. Somebody, I forget who, posted on Instagram about these and said if you're in if you can get a Home Bargains in the UK, this is where they're from, and they're really good. And I use them when I'm beading with my beading as well, like jewellery making too. So all this is going on. I'm probably watching YouTube, or to be honest, binge watching something I've seen 100 times before. Gilmore Girls, Big Bang Theory, something like that, just because I can watch it and ignore it, kind of thing, but I like a bit of background noise. Or I'm zooming with my friends. So that is the things I love about with my stitching. So I love to plan, a few gadgets and tools, and friends. I think those are the essential things for floss tube. This one's all stored on this little tray. It's one of these ones you can pop over the arm of the chair, and it's got like little sprung mounted legs that kind of, you know, so if it just needs to sit at that angle, it will. So, but I don't tend to use it like that because I kept catching my arm on the corner of it, or my leg, so I just pop it on my footstool in front of me, and it also makes it easier if I want to move everything, if I can just lift it all off. So in a nutshell, that's me. So I am going to leave this one here, and I will be back shortly with another quick video just to go through my plans for 24 hours of cross stitch. So until next time, take care and happy stitching, and I will see you all soon, friends. Bye bye.